All right, y'all. It's the Turks. We back with another one. We got
the rise, the fall, and rise again of the man, the myth, the legend, the second best point guard of all time after Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving. You know, Kyrie Irving. He's a great guy, very respectful, humble, black man. You know what I'm saying? He really does his thing on the basketball court. You know, you're just gonna see the rise and fall of Mr. Kyrie.
And rise again.
And again.
After he made one of the biggest shots in NBA history, the next 7 years of Kyrie Irving's career were a total fiasco. Since the 2016 championship, Kyrie remained a phenomenal player, a dribbling wizard who averaged 26 points per game and made 5 All-Star teams. But he nearly threw it all away. Irving's off-court actions made people forget that he's a basketball savant, and any news about Kyrie seemed to be negative due to his constant wars with the media, suspensions from the NBA, and falling out with his teammates.
And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done.
It was unbelievable that one player could produce so much drama and force his way out of 3 different franchises.
You had Cleveland to exit. You had Boston, which was a mess. You had Brooklyn, which was a mess.
When Kyrie left Brooklyn, he was considered a locker room cancer, a ticking time bomb that could explode at any given moment. But then he landed in Dallas, and things started to change. In the 23-24 season, Kyrie embraced his role as a leader on a young Mavs team. He was saying all the right things, and most importantly, he stayed on the court, nearly winning another NBA championship. This is the rise, the fall, and the rise again of Kyrie Irving, and how the most unorthodox player in the modern NBA went from a team killer and PR disaster to a well-respected NBA superstar. And before he started believing that the earth was flat, Kyrie was always a basketball prodigy. Both his parents are former baskall players, and Kai started...
They on Kyrie's knee right now. Like, what's going on, bro?
For sure.
Like, chill.
Started dribbling a ball as soon as he could walk. Kyrie was so obsessed with basketball that he dribbled and shot all the time, writing on his wall that he'd become an NBA player one day.
Hey, man. One thing I learned, bro, ain't gonna lie, one thing I'm really seeing, and this is why shout out Monkey D. Luffy. Because you probably wondering, where am I going with this?
Okay.
But listen, that character really represents manifestation. If you know, you know. If you watch it, you watch it. Shout out Monkey D.
You're not going to explain why or how?
Huh?
How did he...
Bro, from the first show, if you look throughout, if you watch One Piece, the whole show...
This is a sidebar, y'all, for all my
facts. For all One Piece fans, if you know from since the first episode, everything that's happened from like literally moment to moment, he says it before it happens, like literally.
Okay. I
actually realized that because I'm actually rewatching it right now, and from the first thing he said to the last thing, he's literally manifesting it, and he's still manifesting to this day. Shout out Oda, that's my dog right there.
Well, I play all the time. Winter, fall, summer, spring.
But there was one big problem, his size. As a freshman in high school, Kai was only 5'7" and super skinny. As a sophomore, he reached 5'10". But despite averaging 29 points per game, nobody knew about him because he played in the lowest division in New Jersey. As a senior, Kyrie reached his current height of 6'2", and with the increase in size, he became unstoppable. By this time, everybody knew who he was. Irving was named High School All-American, co-MVP of the Jordan Brand Classic Tournament, and was unanimously ranked as a top 5 high school player in the country. Kyrie was wanted by every major university, but he accepted the scholarship from Duke. And in his first 8 games for the Blue Devils, Irving was a strong candidate for NCAA Freshman of the Year, averaging 17 points and 5 assists per game, while shooting an insane 54% from the field, 45% for 3, and 90% from the free throw line. Unfortunately, he suffered a foot injury that sidelined him until March Madness, where he helped the Blue Devils reach the Sweet 16. And even though Duke lost to Arizona, Kyrie was by far the best player on the court, and easily the most talented player in college basketball. At the 2011 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers had an easy choice, selecting Kyrie with the first overall pick. And immediately after the draft, Irving reached out to a famous trainer, Micah Lancaster, who pushed his ball handling into a new stratosphere. Lancaster made Kyrie keep his dribble so tight that he could swat away opponents' hands like flies while he was handling the basketball. They also worked on his footwork and balance, and all that hard work paid off.
But Kyrie's one of the only people, he'll let you play. He'd rather play defense on offense. He starts his point of attack. and he lets you dictate how this is gonna go.
Yep.
Kyrie immediately made his mark in the NBA. He was just 3 votes shy of becoming a unanimous Rookie of the Year. In the next 2 seasons, he made the All-Star team each year. He became the All-Star Game MVP, as well as the MVP of the 2014 FIBA World Cup. His
even know
ball
he was
handling
MVP
made him a
of the FIBA World
superstar,
Cup.
and his victims ranged from Brandon Knight to Kobe Bryant
Bro,
and
I
the
remember I
entire
saw what Kyrie did on Brandon Knight. Nigga, I went to the backyard and practiced that move.
Nah, facts. Bro was doing a double step back for 3 hours, bro.
I was doing that move every single day trying to master that.
USA Olympic team.
Ew.
That's filthy.
But despite all the individual success, one thing was missing. The Cleveland Cavaliers were a mess, and Irving wasn't even close to sniffing the playoffs. But then, it all changed because of one man, LeBron James. In his first season back in Cleveland, LeBron led the Cavs to the NBA Finals. But due to injuries to both Kevin Love and Kyrie, the Cavs lacked the firepower to fend off the Golden State Warriors. In the 2016 season, Irving struggled with minor injuries throughout the regular season, which hampered his stats. But when the playoffs rolled around, Kyrie was finally healthy, which allowed him to showcase the full splendor of his talent. The Cavs lost just 2 games on their way to another NBA Finals, and Kai averaged 25 points on 48% shooting and 46% for 3. But then in the NBA Finals against the 73-9 Warriors, the Cavaliers were losing 3-1, a deficit no team had ever recovered from. Cleveland's dreams of winning the title seemed doomed, and they needed a miracle
pissed
to
about that
survive.
series, bro.
And that miracle was provided by LeBron and Kyrie, who played the best game of his career. Both Cavs
Great
scored
series, though.
41 points, but it was Irving who hit all the toughest shots,
Kyrie
with a
was
mesmerizing array of layups and off-balance jumpers over multiple defenders. Irving made 17 out of the 24 shots he took, including 5 for 7 from 3, and was a game-high plus 20 in his 40 minutes on the court.
they were
The
frying,
Cavs
bro. Him
then
and LeBron
took
frying
Game
that
6
thing.
at home,
We should've
but
beat them,
then
though.
they had to win Game 7 on the road. The championship game was incredibly tight, and for virtually forever the score was tied at
Kyrie was
89-89.
frying
And
that
then
thing.
Good
it
defense,
happened.
bro.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up.
That's good defense, bro.
Irving from downtown.
The Cavs won their first title in franchise history and the first for Cleveland after a 52-year drought.
I've never seen 2 guys play at that level
For 3
for
straight
3 straight games. It's
playoff
the
games.
craziest thing I've ever seen. Like Bron and Kyrie were just on. Like we played well. They just played better.
But then the
Yeah,
Warriors
bruh.
added Kevin Durant, which was the ultimate basketball cheat
got
code.
KD,
And
that
while the
was-
Cavs managed to get to the 2017 finals basically unchallenged, they couldn't match up with the Bay Area juggernaut. Kyrie was phenomenal throughout the playoffs, especially in the finals, averaging 29 points on 47% shooting and 42% from deep. But Cleveland lost in 5 games, and that's when the first signs of trouble creeped in. Irving was tired of being considered a Robin to LeBron's Batman. Kai wanted his own team, where he was the guy.
You know, when he first came back, I was 22, 23, so I was just a young kid trying to help Cleveland patch up their relationship with him. I got drafted the year after, so when I came in, it was like, are you gonna be better than LeBron? That was my first question when I got into Cleveland. So it was mixed emotions the whole time that we were competitors, and then when he came back as my teammate, you know what I mean? Came back to Cleveland, that's his home.
So, without any warning or consultation with LeBron, he requested a trade from the
gonna lie,
Cavs.
they would stay
Cleveland
together.
didn't have to trade him since he had 2 years left on his deal, and in
knows what
retrospect, they shouldn't have traded him. But like many other sports teams, they didn't want to deal with a disgruntled star.
I asked for a trade because I was looking for something different. I was a man of my word. When I went to the organization, I sat the higher ups down and said, look, I know y'all have future plans. Tell me right now. They told me their future plans. I said, look, this isn't for me.
And 1 month after his trade request went public, Kyrie became a member of the Boston Celtics in a lopsided trade that brought back an injured Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder. Well, this whole process was weird because nobody ever wanted to leave a team that made 3 straight NBA Finals. What was even weirder was Kyrie's media appearances. While he was still a member of the Cavaliers, Kyrie broke out the infamous take that he believed the Earth was flat.
But on that podcast, I was just really like, man, what's going on within our world? And just a whole bunch of truth and conspiracy. I was just like, whoa, this is too much for me. And then I come out and say that. And then
This just sounds
the
bad,
action
bro.
it got.
In September 2017,
Oh my God.
Kyrie appeared on a radio show where he doubled down on his flat Earth stance, claiming the whole thing was part of a social experiment he was conducting.
When I started doing research on my own and figuring out that there is no real picture of Earth, like there's not one picture of Earth.
Kyrie later backs down from his comments, but that was far from...
bruh. So it's not Earth? Oh wait, maybe it's fake.
I don't know, bro.
From the end of his controversies.
Kyrie,
you,
he just kept it basketball, bro.
I don't know. I don't get it.
After an injury sidelined him from the playoffs, Irving was forced to watch his team get beat by LeBron and the Cavs in the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals. And before the next season started, Kyrie seemed happy and confident that he could win in Boston, famously proclaiming that he intends to re-sign with the Celtics in the upcoming year.
You guys will have me back. I plan on re-signing here next year.
Man,
But then it all went sideways. Following an early season loss to the Knicks, a reporter wished him happy Thanksgiving. Kyrie clapped back and said, F Thanksgiving. Because he's part Native American on his mother's side, it's understandable why Kyrie might not be a big fan of Thanksgiving. However, his delivery of that message was far from perfect, and he later apologized on Twitter. Then, in January of 2019, Irving threw his teammates under the bus, saying that the young guys on the team don't understand what it takes to win a championship.
But Kyrie Irving, as the leader he wants to be, must figure it out, and this is not the way to do it.
A few days later, Kyrie admitted to the media that he actually called LeBron James, apologizing for his immature attitude when they played together in Cleveland, and seeking advice about his leadership struggles in Boston.
I had to call Bron, and tell him, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at.
So I think with Kyrie, it was just a growing process.
It's character development.
Yeah, character development. He was just learning.
I think folks forget how he was just young.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna lie, he never had no clue. True. I ain't gonna. He got whole really going and drafted to Cleveland, cause when they brought Bron back,
yeah,
it was like, bro, just like being number one, you try to develop a team. They trade they have they're pretty much franchise player back, and now you get bumped down back to number 2.
Yeah, I understand.
It's probably a little salty.
Yeah.
To be the guy that led us to championship, I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people.
By doing so, Irving essentially bashed his teammates again, and then admitted he made a mistake coming to Boston in the first place.
That was a step for me just to move forward in my life. It takes a very, very strong individual to, replay a lot of the experiences that you've had, a lot of anger that you had built up, that where you didn't address the situation and you allowed it to fester, and then it was just combustion. Then you realize, man, I didn't have to deal with that the same way I dealt with that. I didn't have to go about it that same way.
A few weeks later, when the media asked him about his upcoming free agency and his proclaimed intent to re-sign with the Celtics, Kyrie simply said that he doesn't know anybody's shit. They should ask him about that on July 1st, and that he'll do what's best for him and his family.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I feel is best for my career, and I don't owe anybody.
And despite Kyrie playing to his usual standards and making the All-NBA second team, it was clear that the team chemistry was seriously derailed. During the second round of the playoffs against the Bucks, Irving played the worst playoff series of his career, after which he delivered another disastrous press conference. After reporters asked him about his shooting struggles following a Game 4 loss, Kyrie responded in the worst possible way.
Yeah, who cares?
He then capped off this fiasco by saying that he should have taken 30 shots instead of 22 because he's that great of a shooter.
The expectations on me are going to be sky high. For me, the 22 shots, I should have shot 30.
In the deciding Game 5, the Celtics lost by 25.
I did not know that. I did not know. Why did I never know he said all of this?
Nah, Kyrie was wise, pure ego in responses, bro. He's responding strictly with his ego in these press conferences. But then again, bro, I understand, after a game, you're not trying to hear all these questions. You're just trying to, go to the crib, bro. I understand, but,
PR training, bro.
They're going to make a story out of everything, especially in the league. So,
Facts.
Yeah,
true.
It's tough, bro.
Nobody. Kyrie shot 6 for 21 from the field in the game and was arguably the worst player on the floor. He finished the series shooting just 35% from the field and an abysmal 22% from 3. After all the comments he made during the year, the Celtics were happy to see him go in free agency. In just 2 years, Irving managed to piss off and ruin the plans for 2 different franchises. And his next move was something that all NBA fans saw.
So did Kyrie slick mess up the whole 2016 era?
I mean...
And KD. Kyrie and KD?
Yeah, they low-key. Kinda.
It was smooth.
Because if you would have stayed with LeBron, a lot of stuff would have been different.
Facts. And KD would have stayed with the Warriors.
A lot of stuff would have been different.
A lot of stuff would be different to this day.
But imagine if KD and Draymond get into it, he leaves, but Kyrie and LeBron still good. Who knows what could have happened, bro?
True.
Who knows what could have happened?
That would have been cool to see, though.
It would have.
I think Curry had how many against LeBron?
I don't even know. I think 2, yeah.
He had 2. And then when KD came out, it was 3?
Yeah.
LeBron had 1.
Right.
LeBron had 1. So he probably would have left. LeBron could have got maybe.
LeBron could have got another one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have got another one.
Saw coming for months. At the 2019 All-Star Game, while still a member of the Celtics, Kyrie was seen talking extensively to Kevin Durant, and the whole world suspected they were in cahoots to play.
I was finna say, what if they went on the team? I was just finna say it too. That's crazy. What if they, after all that? Oh wait, they went on the same team.
Keep watching, buddy. You forgot the past already.
And what the world suspected, Kyrie confirmed in July of 2019, signing a deal with the Brooklyn Nets together with Durant. In his first game, Kyrie scored 50 points, becoming the first player in NBA history to score 50 in a team debut. Despite averaging a career-high 27.4 points per game, a shoulder injury forced him to miss all but 20 games of the season. In the offseason, both Kai and KD got healthy, and they got together on a podcast where Irving made headlines once again, and not in a good way.
We don't really need a coach. Tell me a player in the history of sports that never needed coaching. That might be one of the most ignorant things I've ever heard a player say.
When the 2021 season started, the Nets fans finally saw the long-awaited debut of Kevin Durant, who had been nursing an Achilles injury he suffered in the 2019 NBA Finals. To make things even better, Brooklyn also traded for James Harden early in the season, and the trio of KD, Harden, and Kyrie promised to be the most
no way that team should have lost, bro.
I don't think it was injuries. Injuries messed them up. I don't think they're doing crazy. They're going crazy when they're all playing together. It was injuries.
With so much talent on the floor, defenses were forced to pick their poison. And at all times, one of the 3 best scorers in basketball was open. However, injuries to all 3 stars limited their time on the court. And the superstar trio played just 8 games together in the regular season. On top of their injury troubles, Kyrie was still at war with the media, calling them pawns on social media. But for the first round of the playoffs against the Celtics, all 3 Nets All-Stars were healthy, unleashing the full wrath of their offensive talent. Brooklyn won that series in 5 games, scoring an average of 124 points with an insane 130 offensive rating, easily the best rating in a single playoff series. Kyrie, KD, and Harden averaged 85 points per game, shooting a combined 53% from the field, 45% from 3, and 92% from the free throw line. To rub in the Nets' victory, Irving stomped on the Celtics logo, which wasn't appreciated by the Boston fans. However, in the second round against the Bucks, both Kyrie and Harden got hurt. Still, if KD's toe didn't step on the line during the potential game winner, this story might have been different. But it did, and the Bucks won the series in overtime of Game 7. And despite the disappointment, everybody believed the Nets' super team would win the title in the upcoming years, if they managed to stay healthy.
We didn't think we could beat the Nets in full power. That was a team that we thought we might not be able to get past for 3 or 4 years.
But that's when the real fun began, and the Kyrie factor came into play. The world didn't know it yet, but Harden, KD, and Irving would only play 1 more game together for Brooklyn. Before the start of the 2022 NBA season, 99% of all NBA players participated in the mandatory vaccination to combat the pandemic. Only 3 players refused: Michael Porter Jr., Jonathan Isaac, and Kyrie Irving. Porter and Isaac were out for the season due to injuries. However, Kyrie was perfectly healthy, but due to his stance, he was unable to play in all home games because of New York City's vaccine mandate. This led to the Nets GM Sean Marks removing Kyrie from all team games and practices, resulting in Kyrie missing the first 2 months of the season.
I was not expecting a mandate to be brought down in a way that it wasn't going to allow me to play at all. I had the opportunity to play away games still, but there was no plan in place. There was no vision of like how it's going to work for our team, and I think that really impacted not just me, but a lot of people. So just had to sit in that hot seat for a little bit and deal with it, man. Life of a martyr, bro.
However, in late December, despite remaining unvaccinated, the Nets announced that Irving would return to the team and play in away games, in a decision largely influenced by the various injuries to Brooklyn's roster. On January 12th, the Nets' super team trio of Durant, Harden, and Irving finally all suited up in an NBA game again, reminding the world of how potent their offense could be with all three superstars. The Nets demolished the Bulls, 138-112, and for a moment, their hopes of winning a title looked great again, but it would be the last game they ever played in the same uniform. Kyrie missed the next 2 games because the Nets played at home, after which KD got injured and was ruled out for 6 weeks. And that was the final straw for James Harden, who was getting fed up with Kyrie and the uncertainty he brought to the team. So the Beard asked for a trade, seeking a more stable situation. And during the February trade deadline, Harden got his wish, getting traded to Philadelphia for Ben Simmons and Seth Curry. Overall, the Nets' Big Three played just 16 games together with a record of 13-3. However, just a few days before the Harden trade, New York Mayor Eric Adams announced that New York City was lifting its vaccine mandate for municipal workers, meaning that Kyrie would be able to finally play in all games. However, the damage to team chemistry had already been done, and Harden still insisted on getting traded. And just 3 days after Adams announced the news, the Beard was gone, and the Nets received 20 cents on the dollar.
Playoffs right around the corner, so we got to fast track into getting used to each other. But I'm excited. I think everybody got what they wanted.
And because Ben Simmons didn't even play a single minute for the team, which was another drama in its own right, the Nets' defense was atrocious, and Brooklyn's offense wasn't as potent without a third superstar. Somehow the Nets made the playoffs, but in the first round against the Celtics, Brooklyn got swept, and their title window closed faster than anyone could have predicted. In Game 1 of that series, Irving flipped off a fan, adding fuel to the fire of hate he was already getting in Boston, plus a $50,000 fine he received from the NBA.
Well, we've never seen that from you this season, where you are running down the floor flicking people off.
It's the first time you actually caught it because it's a big-time game. I respond in different ways. So if somebody's going to call me out of my name, I'm going to look at them straight in the eye and see if they really about it. Most of the time, they're not.
A 4-0 loss was a slap in the face, and a big wake-up call for the team everybody believed was going to win the championship. However, that wasn't the end of all the chaos. In the offseason, Kevin Durant, who was clearly tired from all the Kyrie and Ben Simmons drama, asked for a trade, even though he still had 4 years left on his contract. Durant then went a step further and demanded that the team either fire Steve Nash and GM Sean Marks or let him go. It was arguably the most aggressive trade demand by any player in NBA history. Thankfully, owner Joe Tsai held his ground, refused KD's ultimatum, and didn't succumb to the pressure to trade him. Against all odds, both Kyrie and KD started the 2023 season for the Nets, and they were joined by Ben Simmons, who finally made his debut for the team. But when the season started, the Nets were an abomination. Simmons looked like a shell of his former self, the Nets had zero on-ball defense, and their offense relied on KD and Kyrie isolations. With a defense that couldn't stop some college teams and a barely average offense, the Nets lost 6 out of their first 8 games. Both Kyrie and KD clashed with coach Steve Nash, after which Nash got fired. But that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no. The Nets' on-court problems were just a minor thing compared to the shit show they produced off the floor, with the main protagonist being Kyrie Irving, of course. Kyrie tweeted an anti-Semitic message after a documentary he watched, and while the league and the Nets gave him a chance to apologize, he failed to do so.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me in front of
putting it out there, people are going to say that you are
promoting. Yeah, put it out there, just like you put things out there, right?
Finally, the Nets suspended him for 8 games, and the whole world was left wondering, what is wrong with Kyrie Irving?
If you take Kyrie Irving's brain and you put it inside of a bird, the bird is going to start to fly backwards.
When Irving finally returned, Ben
Yeah,
Simmons
how you
and
do
other
that?
role players caught some steam. And against all odds, Brooklyn started winning games. At the midpoint of the season, they had a 27-14 record, the second best record in the Eastern Conference. By then, Kyrie wanted to secure a contract extension with the team. Considering all the BS he had pulled in the last 5 years, Irving was viewed as a ticking time bomb who could explode at any moment.
They're not winning anything with him in Brooklyn. And I think in Brooklyn, they're starting to understand that.
And without any surprise, the Nets declined to give Kyrie the max extension he wanted. But because they didn't want to lose him for nothing in the summer, Brooklyn made a logical move and decided to cash in on his talent while they still could. So the Nets traded him to Dallas in exchange for Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, an unprotected 2029 first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. Soon after, Brooklyn also traded Durant to Phoenix. And just like that, the third super team that Kyrie was on collapsed in record time. The whole world believed that Dallas made a big mistake in trading for Irving and giving him a 3-year, $126 million extension, especially after Irving and Doncic failed to even make the postseason in 2023.
The Dallas Mavericks are an absolute mess. Let's say what it is.
But then, in the 2024 season, everything changed. Irving remained healthy for the majority of the year, and he was one of just 11 NBA players who averaged 25, 5, and 5 for the season, with traditionally high shooting percentages. Kyrie was just 0.3% shy of a 50-40-90 season, shooting 49.7% from the field, 41.1% from 3, and 90.5% from the free throw line. His alley-oop dunk versus the Nets and a crazy left-handed game winner against the Nuggets were the biggest highlights of Dallas' season.
This was crazy.
That's crazy skill. That's crazy skill. No banking on nothing.
But even more importantly, Kyrie wasn't a PR nightmare anymore.
It starts with me as one of the leaders on the team. I got to be better. Make sure that.
But ain't gonna lie, it's like his aura changed. It's like he became more humble. Like
facts. Bro,
he was just stressed, bro.
Yeah, but no, he talked about it on stream. Wait, he was doing something. He talked about it. He was like, cause you know he was saying he was like going through like stuff mentally. Cause you know I think his grandpa died. I think his grandpa died.
RP.
I think he had surgery where he had to. I don't remember if it was his knee or hip. I think it was one of those where he had to get plates in there. Damn. And you know, like when your body, he was like, this is exactly what he said. He said when your body is not reacting to the way that you think like you want it to react to, and you try to do something, it gives you like it makes you depressed. Which is facts. If you know, you know, bro.
Yeah, for all the athletes know.
Yeah, facts, bro. That's the reason I'm in this chair right now.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much what he said. I'm pretty sure. So that's why he.
Yeah, that makes sense, bro.
I think that's what happened when he was in. That was in. I think when he went to. I think it might have been after he left the Celtics or while he was still in Boston. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it makes sense, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, bro. I'm pretty sure it happened in. Actually, it might have been in Brooklyn. I think that's when his grandpa died.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah.
Staying communicative. This was a learning lesson for sure, but I'm proud of all our guys. We all stepped up at the right time, and we gutted out this win.
He said all the right things in the media. He became a leader on and off the court, and it was clear that he established great chemistry with all his teammates and coaches. And this all showed in the end result. Kyrie and Luka led the Mavs past the Clippers, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves to reach the NBA Finals, which was the first time since 2011 that one team defeated 3 50-win teams to reach the championship series. With many big shots in the playoffs and flawless behavior off the court, this was Kyrie's redemption season. And even though he and Dallas failed to win the 2024 championship against a stacked Celtics team, nobody was saying anything bad about Irving. After a turbulent 6-year span where he burned 3 different franchises, Kai is finally back to doing what he does best, being a basketball wizard. Thanks for watching Nonstop. And if you like this one, we have another video for you right here.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Nonstop, bro. Great video, dude.
Facts.
Kyrie, I'm happy for you in Dallas, bro, and just keep improving, dog. Keep your mental health right.
Facts.
Be straight.
Facts. Kyrie's top 3, and he ain't 3.
Yeah.
He ain't 1 though. Hey, Kyrie's a great guy, man. Hey, shout out Kyrie, man. Great video. He said, shout out Nonstop. And we'll catch y'all in the next video, man.
Don't forget.
Shout out God.
Shout out God.